Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sunita Ravi. Today I have come out with another video. The chapter name is Marginal Costing and Profit Planning. There are two concepts are involved. One is marginal costing, second one absorption costing. Absorption costing, it is also known as traditional costing, or it is also known as full cost method. Traditional costing, or it is also known as full cost method. Here we don't take the effect of variable cost separate in case absorption costing, but in case of marginal costing we have to take the effect of variable cost, then after that we deduct fixed cost to calculate the profit or loss. Now, so profit or loss is equal to sales. It is also known as sales revenue minus total cost. So total cost comprises of two components. One is variable cost, second fixed cost. Variable cost are those costs which change according to change in level of production. For example, material, labor, all are comes under variable cost. But fixed cost are those costs which does not change according to change in level of production. So here example, it may be rent, salary, etc. Now, in case of marginal costing, first we have to deduct variable cost, means profit is equal to sales minus variable cost minus fixed cost. So the difference between sales and variable cost, that we term it as contribution. So first we have to calculate contribution. After calculating contribution, we deduct fixed cost in order to calculate profit or loss in case of marginal costing. Now let me take an example. Here we consider case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, case 5. Variable cost is given 30%. So variable cost we calculate on sale. Sale is equal to 100 in case 1. Now we calculate 30% of 100, that is my variable cost, that is equal to 30. Sales minus variable cost, that answer is equal to contribution. So contribution is equal to 100 minus 30 is equal to 70. After calculating contribution, we have to deduct fixed cost. Suppose my fixed cost is 70. Now here we are getting profit or loss. So there is no profit, no loss in case 1. So we can write it here, no profit, no loss. Now, suppose we consider the total cost. Total cost is equal to variable cost plus fixed cost. Case 1, 30 variable cost and 70 fixed cost, that is 30 plus 70 is equal to 100. So this point we term it as break even point, where no profit, no loss, there sale, yeah, total sale is equal to total cost. Now next case, here I am increasing the sale 140. Again I have to calculate variable cost is equal to 30% of 140 is equal to 42. After deducting this, contribution is equal to 98. Fixed cost remain constant same 70. Here I am getting a profit of 28. So this is my profit. Here total cost is equal to 42 plus 70, that is equal to 112. Now case 3, again I am increasing my sale 150. Here 30% of 150 is equal to 45. Sales minus variable cost is my contribution 105. Here again fixed cost 70, 35. Now my getting a profit of 35. So total cost is equal to 45 plus 70 is equal to 115. Now case 4, 180, 54. Here 126 is my contribution. 70 I have to deduct in order to calculate profit or loss. Here 56 is my profit. Now here total cost is equal to 54 plus 70 is equal to 124. Now I am decreasing my sale, that is equal to 80. 30% of 80 is equal to 24. Contribution 56. Now 70 again I have to deduct to calculate profit or loss. Here I am getting a loss of 14. Now this is my loss. Total cost is equal to 24 plus 70 is equal to 94. Now based on this information we can make the formulas. Now how to calculate contribution? Contribution is equal to sales minus variable cost. So we can write it here. Contribution is equal to sales minus variable cost, and profit is equal to, we can write it here according to this equation. Profit, how to calculate profit or loss? Contribution minus fixed cost. Profit is equal to contribution minus fixed cost. Now according to this information, where I am getting this break-even point, where total cost is equal to sale revenue. Yeah, it is also known as sale. Where my sale is equal to 100 and total cost equal to 100, there I am getting break-even point. Otherwise we can term it as where my contribution is equal to fixed cost, there I am getting this break-even point. So we can write it here. Break-even point is equal to total cost is equal to sales, or we can term it as sales revenue, or we can write it here. Total cost is equal to total revenue, or we can write it here. Contribution is equal to fixed cost. Contribution is equal to fixed cost. There I am getting break-even point means there is no profit, no loss. And where I am getting this profit means here I am getting profit, profit, profit. Where my sale 140, my total cost is 112. Sale 150, my total cost is 115. Sale 180 and my total cost is 124. Where my sale value is more than total cost, there I am getting profit or loss. So here we can again write it here. Profit is equal to sale or sale revenue is more than total cost. And where I am getting loss according to this, here I am getting loss. My sale value is 80 but my total cost is 94. So sale is less than, here we can write sales or sales revenue is less than total cost, there I am getting loss. And after this, contribution is sales minus variable cost. So profit or loss is equal to contribution minus fixed cost. So we can write it here. Profit is equal to contribution minus fixed cost. From this formula we can frame contribution is equal to profit plus fixed cost, or we can write it here fixed cost plus profit. And from this equation we can frame fixed cost is equal to contribution minus profit. Now there is a relation between sales and contribution. Here we can calculate the contribution to sales ratio. Contribution to sales ratio we can frame here. So contribution to sales ratio is equal to contribution upon sales into 100. Here in this contribution we can write it here. Contribution is equal to sales minus variable cost upon sales into 100. So this ratio, it is also known as profit volume ratio. Short form we write it here PV ratio. So PV ratio is the connectivity between profit and sale, yeah, contribution to sale, that we term it as PV ratio. So first equation, in order to calculate PV ratio, is equal to contribution upon sale, where contribution is equal to sales minus variable cost upon sales into 100. Now we come to this part here. The difference between, suppose case 2, case 3 and case 4, I am getting profit. Here it is 28 and here it is 35. So the difference between these two, that is equal to 28 minus 35 is equal to 7. So 7 is the difference of profit upon difference of sale in this case 1 and case 2 and case 3 is 140 and 150. So we can write it here 10. So 7 upon 10 into 100, that is equal to 70%, that is based on case 2 and case 3. Suppose we are taking case 3 and case 4. In that case, what is the difference of profit 35 and 56? That is equal to 21. So here we can write 21 upon the difference of sale is equal to 150 and 180, that is equal to 30. So upon 30 into 100, that is equal to 7. Here again 70%. Here what we can frame, this is the difference of profit. Difference of profit and this 10 is the difference of sale. Here also the 21 is the difference of profit and 30 is the difference of sale. So we can frame another formula of PV ratio, that is equal to profit volume ratio is equal to change in profit upon change in sale into 100. So first formula, contribution upon sale into 100, where contribution is equal to sales minus variable cost upon sale into 100. From this we can frame this equation is equal to change in profit upon change in sale into 100. Now one more formula in order to calculate PV ratio. Sometimes selling price per unit and variable cost per unit is given. Variable cost per unit is given. That case we can frame the formula PV ratio is equal to selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit upon selling price per unit into 100. And another formula of PV ratio is equal to fixed cost upon break even point. Fixed cost upon break even point, that is also another formula of calculating profit volume ratio. Now based on this we can frame another formula of contribution, means PV ratio is equal to contribution upon sale. So from this we can frame contribution is equal to, here it is contribution is equal to sales cross multiply sales multiplied by PV ratio. This is another formula for contribution. Contribution is equal to sales multiplied by profit volume ratio. So fixed cost is equal to contribution minus profit. We have framed this formula earlier. Here we can write in this case a contribution, that is equal to sales multiplied by PV ratio minus profit. So there are two formulas in order to calculate fixed cost, that is equal to contribution minus profit, and where contribution is equal to sales multiplied by PV ratio minus profit. Now we come to break even point. In this example, break even point is equal to contribution is equal to fixed cost, or total revenue means total sale is equal to total cost. But break even point we calculate on the basis of output as well as sale. So break even point on the basis of output, yeah, units, that is equal to fixed cost upon contribution, or we can term it here contribution per unit. And second one, break even point we can calculate on the basis of sale. This is first one, this is second one, that is equal to fixed cost upon profit volume ratio. If it is written in the question only break even point, then we consider that as break even point sale. So we apply this formula fixed cost upon profit volume ratio. Now After this, there is a term that we term it as margin of safety. Margin of safety is the difference between actual sale, it is also known as total sale, minus break even point sale. Now sometimes we have to calculate this margin of safety. Margin of safety as a percentage we have to calculate. There we apply this formula, total sale minus break even point sale upon total sale into 100. So margin of safety percentage is equal to total sale minus break even point sale upon total sales into 100. Now there is a connectivity in between profit volume ratio and variable cost ratio. Profit volume ratio, that we term it as PV ratio, and there is one more term that we term it as variable cost ratio. Profit volume, that is PV ratio, and variable cost ratio. And PV ratio plus variable cost ratio should be equal to 100%. Suppose PV ratio, variable cost ratio, suppose my PV ratio answer is 10%, then my variable cost ratio is equal to 90%. Suppose my PV ratio is 20%, then my variable cost ratio is 80%. Suppose my PV ratio is 25%, then my variable cost ratio is equal to 75. Suppose my PV ratio is 40%, then my variable cost ratio is equal to 60%. Now we can frame a formula that is equal to variable cost ratio is equal to 1 minus PV ratio, and variable cost is equal to sales multiplied by variable cost ratio. So if the value means percentage of profit volume ratio is known, we can apply this in order to calculate variable cost ratio. Variable cost ratio is equal to 1 minus PV ratio, and from this we can calculate variable cost is equal to sales multiplied by PV ratio. Now another formula in order to calculate variable cost. So variable cost is equal to sales multiplied by variable cost per unit upon price or selling price. Sometimes in the question price and or selling price is given, variable cost per unit if it is given, then variable cost is equal to sales multiplied by variable cost per unit upon price or selling price. Now one more formula in order to calculate profit. Profit is equal to quantity multiplied by selling price per unit minus quantity multiplied by variable cost per unit minus fixed cost. So if the quantity is given in the question, selling price is given, quantity and variable cost is also given, so we can apply this formula in order to calculate profit. Now next one, there are some more other factors we have to calculate. Output या units for a desired profit is equal to fixed cost plus desired profit upon contribution, or sometimes contribution per unit. Contribution per unit. And second point, sales required for a desired profit is equal to fixed cost plus desired profit upon PV ratio. Next one, profit at a given or projected sales. There we have to calculate the profit, a corresponding profit that is equal to given sales multiplied by profit volume ratio minus fixed cost. Okay, sometimes we have to calculate the units output. There we divide it with contribution. Sometimes we have to calculate the sales required for a desired profit. There we have to apply this formula, fixed cost plus desired profit upon PV ratio. Sometimes we have to calculate profit, a corresponding profit at a given a projected sale. There we apply given sales multiplied by profit volume ratio minus fixed cost. Now let we solve some example. Now these are the information given. So according to the question we have to apply the formulas. So the information is of two time periods are given. Here it is 2017 and 2018. Sale is given and profit are given. So first we have to calculate profit volume ratio. So first and foremost point we have to remember, if the information is of two time periods means it may be first half and second half. Yeah, it may be period 1 and period 2, or it may be 2019 and 2020. If the information is of two time periods, there we have to apply the change formula. Two time periods, there we have to apply PV ratio is equal to change in profit upon change in sales into 100. So according to the question we have to consider which formula to apply. So according to this question there are two year information is given. So we have to apply, first we calculate PV ratio is equal to change in profit upon change in sale into 100. So here according to this question 2017 5 lakh and 2018 it is 7 lakh. So the change in profit is equal to 2 lakh. So here we have to apply change in profit is equal to 2 lakh upon change in sale is equal to, according to this question, 40 lakh and 50 lakh. So we have to take the difference that we term it as change, that is equal to 10 lakh. So here we have to write it here, 10 lakh into 100, that is equal to 20%. That is our first answer. So based on this information, next we have to calculate fixed cost. So here we write fixed cost. Fixed cost is equal to contribution minus profit. So we know the formula of contribution is equal to sales multiplied by PV ratio minus profit. Now, most important point we have to remember, fixed cost, it is also known as fixed expenses or fixed overhead that remain constant for both the time periods. So we can calculate on the basis of 2017 as well as for 2018. Answer should be same. For example, suppose we are considering 2017. Now, according to the question, sale that is equal to 40 lakh. So here we have to write 40 lakh multiplied by PV ratio, already we have calculated, that is 20% minus. While we are taking 2017, there we have to take the profit of 2017, that is equal to 5 lakh. So we write it here 5 lakh. So fixed cost according to 2017 it is equal to 3 lakh. Okay, or we can calculate on the basis of 2018. It is not necessary to calculate for both the time periods. We can cross check the answer. If we calculate both the time periods, the answer is same. So if we consider 2018, sales is equal to 50 lakh. So here we have to write 50 lakh multiplied by PV ratio, the answer is same, that is 20 upon 20% minus. While we are taking 2018, there we have to take the profit of 2018, that is equal to 7 lakh. So we write it here 7 lakh. So the answer is same, that is equal to 3 lakh. So this is our second answer, fixed cost is equal to 3 lakh. After calculating this, we have to calculate break even point. So we apply that formula. If it is not mentioned, then it is automatically it is break even point sale. So break even point sale, break even point is equal to fixed cost upon PV ratio. So we have already calculated the value of fixed cost is equal to 3 lakh, and we know the answer of PV ratio. Here fixed cost is equal to 3 lakh and PV ratio already we have calculated, that is equal to 20%. So our break even point sale, break even point here means break even point sales is equal to 15 lakh. And last and final, we have to calculate sales for the, if the sales for the year 2019 is projected to be 65 lakh, means here the projected year given sale is given. Now we have to calculate the corresponding profit. We have to calculate the profit. So profit, corresponding profit here, profit is equal to, profit here, corresponding profit is equal to sales, yeah, given sale, it is also known as projected sale, multiplied by PV ratio minus fixed cost. So here we don't consider the previous sale. Here according to the question, given a projected sale is given, that is equal to 65 lakh multiplied by, we know the answer of PV ratio is 20% minus fixed cost, we know the answer, that is equal to 3 lakh, that is equal to 10 lakh. This is our answer. Thanks for watching the video.